Costigan with Main Street Mortgage, and welcome to my podcast, 50 and Fabulous, What I've Learned Through the Trenches, sponsored by Main Street Mortgage. Today, I'm super excited and happy to have my friend and guest, Mrs. Julie Spear. How are you today?
Good, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm just really happy to have you here on the podcast. And we have so much to go over. Julie has a new adventure she just started, and we're going to talk about that. It's her new company, and the name is Jules Talent Solutions, LLC. And this is, I'm talking brand new.
Very new.
Like
infant stage.
Yeah. Within like the last month,
Correct. It's official.
But we'll get into that. I want to talk a little bit about your family and where you're from. So tell me where you're from. It looks like you're born in Long Beach, California.
Yes. So we actually moved out to Agora Hills when I was just about 5 years old.
Okay.
My dad was transferred out to the area working for Northrop Grumman when they were in Newbury Park.
Right. Okay.
And we were in the very new track of Fountainwood.
Oh, okay.
It was great. It was a great place to grow up. We've been in the community. My dad's still in the same home that we purchased then. And at the time, I remember my mother saying, "Where has your dad brought me? I'm in the middle of nowhere." It was cows. Canaan was full of,
I thought that we were at my first Windowood Rats, and we were there in 93. I'm like, where is he moving me?
Yes. But it became an amazing community, and seeing it grow over the years has been incredible. And so to have the opportunity to raise my children in the area as well, and to just be part of this community has been amazing.
Definitely. And also, tell me about your 30-year marriage. You're kind of on your anniversary.
Yes.
And I know you're going somewhere really special.
Yes, we are. We are going to Jamaica. We're going to, I know we put in the time and the work, and now as recent empty nesters, we realize it's time to celebrate us and our life and our marriage. And 30 years is a long time.
Milestone.
Yeah, there. And we have some history here, some good history, and the story is not over. It's just the beginning of the next chapter.
I love that. I truly do. I think that's awesome.
Thank you. So we're very excited. So that'll be next month.
And you have we have very similar things. We, went to the same college, but, we have two daughters. I have two. You have two daughters. And tell me about your daughters. I know they're both, off and doing great.
Yes, they are. They're living their best life right now. We'll, start with my youngest daughter right now. She's going to be 22 this weekend. Amanda is
Happy birthday, Amanda.
She's going to be graduating this year from University of Santa Barbara.
That's awesome.
She is a biopsychology major, and she's also a student athlete. She is on the track and field team as a thrower.
Wow.
And it's been a huge commitment for her, and it's all coming together, and she's going to have a great year. She's ready to go. They just started this week. And then my older daughter, Kristen, she's going to be 27 this weekend.
Hey, you just go, I win Christmas or holiday, January, February, March, I have no money. My girls' birthdays.
Fourth quarter is tough.
What was I thinking? And then March is my niece. I'm like, really messed up.
Oh, yes. Well, Kristen is currently in Salt Lake City, Utah. She received an opportunity a couple of years ago to get into sports broadcasting, which has always been her dream. And she's always been a student athlete herself. She also played in college. She was a soccer player. She was a goalkeeper.
Well, weren't you a coach?
I was. I actually played when I was younger, and I grew up into, the Gora, Oak Park, Calabasas area. And I played in an adult league as well. Wasn't as fortunate as they are to be able to play at the college level, and the opportunities for women so much better. And I'm so proud, because I would have absolutely gone to that next level if I had the opportunity. So to raise strong, beautiful women like smart that could do this is exciting. So that was her opportunity to go to school up north, and with that, she was able to get some excellent internships. She went for NBC Sports.
That's probably how that helped with her job.
Absolutely, that practical experience that she could have, amazing, and she was able to transfer that over to what she's doing now, and so she's working as a broadcast assistant for the Utah Jazz. As I mentioned, she's doing radio. She also works for the Salt Lake City Stars, which is the G League team that feeds into the NBA.
Wow.
She's doing video and reporting. Her goal is to be a sideline reporter. So you will see her in the future.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And that is really awesome. That is awesome. So both the girls are thriving. I mean, I always say, as long as they're thriving and doing well, but as long as they're educated, they're smart, and they're thriving, but if they're good people and you've raised good humans, that I think as parents, that's our job.
It's a feel good.
It's a feel good.
And that's where I feel that we have done our job.
Right.
And now they have the tools and they have the desires, and the world is their oyster.
Yeah, you give them the tools and it's up to them. And I feel the same way. I'm very excited for my daughters and their next adventure.
Yes, they're doing well too.
They're
ready to go off.
They're thriving, yeah.
Are thriving.
One's going to be a nurse and one's off to the academy on Monday. So
amazing.
Yeah, I'm still, I think, in utter shock, but I know she'll do well, and that's her dream. So what they want and their dreams, they're going to go for it no matter what. And my youngest is going to be going to nursing school, and she'll be finishing up in about 16 months. So
that's amazing.
I know the feeling. Yeah. So,
well, and I'll be here for you because I know what that's like when they leave the nest and they go to fly.
Looking forward to it, trust me. But, I'll keep myself busy.
Exactly.
I'll find you guys. So, Julie, we met, I think, really through Boss Ladies and eWomen Network.
Yes, we did.
But Boss Ladies was a little bit more of an intimate setting. I've been a Boss Lady for about 1.5 years now, and I was the treasurer for about 1 year, but I just love our Boss Ladies. And we went to dinner. I think that's where we kind of really
reconnected. I had the opportunity to join you guys for dinner. I think we were at Lure, actually, the first time we were in yours.
And the second time was the chicken with the rice.
Right.
I don't know why, but it's all I remember is the chicken with the rice.
Yes, and I just know then we shared. So that's what was the bonding.
That was the bonding, chicken and rice, but the first time was at Lure.
Yes. And at that time, we realized we had so many similarities, or starting to realize similarities. And when you shared with me that Main Street Mortgage was looking to hire and what your company, struggles might have been, or your successes even, what you were looking for, I think that's when we started.
That's when we started talking, and that's when I heard, your strengths on recruiting. I'm like, I need some help. So let's start with your background in recruiting. I know you go back about 10 years, and you've had quite a variety of not so much jobs, but just experience. And tell me about Kelly Services. I know that's where you started, really, and that was a great opportunity for you.
It really was. I had the opportunity to interview on site at Amgen, where Kelly Services was the MSP for Amgen. So we handled all the hiring. We worked with companies, recruiting companies across the country, right? But we were the main on-site recruiting firm. And that gave me the groundwork and the training, and then just the passion to get into recruiting, because I realized I just loved it. And it was a perfect transition from what I was doing previous. I was in promotional advertising for over 15 years. My husband and I wound up running our own businesses for 10 years together, which allowed me to have the flexibility to take care of my girls. My husband traveled quite a bit. I mean, we were having shows across the country 20, weeks out of the year. My husband was traveling when they were young. Yeah. I thank goodness I had my mom to help me as well.
I understand.
And my father too. He's a smart businessman, and he was always there for me when I needed it. And with that said, that experience of being an entrepreneur and a co-owner with my husband, it was really exciting times. So with that, experience, I realized, I could do this now for myself. Right. And, but I have, had such a great training program with Kelly, and my years of experience working in the community in both, Ventura and Santa Barbara counties, and then branching out nationally, over the last 3 years when everything became remote. I now have in my technology, we really got so many doors, and as a recruiter, I can touch so many more lives. And that's really the fulfillment that I get from placing people, because I know I changed careers mid-life, right? And someone believed in me and said, your skill set and your background really would translate to this. I think you should give it a try. Come in, interview, see where it takes you. Well, that really catapulted this next career for me. And that's the story I tell people, candidates, when they are looking for a new job. Maybe they're making a change. Maybe they haven't worked, for some time. Maybe they're raising a family, but they have past experience, education. What does that look like? How do I get back into the workplace? And now I really focus on, working with clients that want to grow their businesses, small to mid-sized companies that they're really ready to take the next level.
And I think that's, what I say when I connected with you. I realized, I needed somebody. I've worked with different companies. I know exactly what I want. We are looking for loan officers. I need loan officers with licensing for the DRE and the NMLS, and they have to have both licenses. And that's a tough requirement sometimes. I want experience. I mean, I know what I want, So that's what we want. We're not going to settle for, anything less. We'll train if that's the right person. I have trained before. I've had really great success with that. And sometimes it's more, it's harder than it looks or harder than I'm saying. I could just train somebody to do this. But you gave me candidates and you gave me fantastic candidates. Each and every one of them, I think we had second interviews, third interviews, a few of them. And, we were ready to make a hire. And then, life happened with that particular candidate. But I mean, we were going all the way. And, for John and I to do that, that was probably the first time I've gone all the way, or second time really using an outside source where he believed in you and I believed in you. And, that's a big commitment for us being a smaller company, to trusting you with this candidate. So I know going on and moving on, from here in our future, we're going to be able to use your services. I'm really excited about that because it does take that off of me because you do the vetting of the client. You're going to do all the background for me. So you're basically going to say, here's the client. I've done all your background and Gina, interview the person. I'm
Exactly.
like, thank you. Now just bring me more.
So well, and that is the goal. And you were so great from the very beginning, letting me know specifically what you're looking for, what your company goals are, your hiring strategic planning, all of that was so helpful. I always want to do an intake call with my clients for that reason. A lot of companies will say, I want this candidate or I want this position filled, but to take the time to really allow me to understand you, your company, how it works, what you're looking for, that was so critical. And, the communication, so that when I was interviewing and vetting candidates, I knew exactly what was going to work for you. And they had to meet your requirements. And that's what takes a lot of time. And
No, it does. It does.
So as a business partner to you, to support you, I'm able to do that on the backside while you're still running your business.
But I gave you an order and you were just like, and I had candidates the next day. I mean, the next couple of days, which is, I mean, I had worked with other companies and it was like ghost, I didn't see anything. But, and I had a small little stint in the recruiting world. So I worked for Apple and I worked for Agilon. And then I started my own little mortgage company during the debacle of the industry. I started that a couple of years after, and I did that for about 2 years. And then John called me and he was looking for a processor. And I ended up, giving him a processor at the time. And he's like, come on in and talk. What are you doing? And, John, come on in. We'll talk. I'm later. But I understand the work that goes into it and finding that person and really doing the background of the company. It's a lot of work. So you have to go to sometimes to see what the company's all about. Look at the culture. Look at everyone that kind of works there. Who's going to be a good fit? And that's really what a really good, recruiter does. And I have to have faith in that person. I definitely have faith in you. And I'm excited to see what this brings because I know that we're starting with 2 right now, but John thinks I'm hiring 50. So, okay, well, I don't know. So we're kind of on the roots right now.
Well, if I could have,
they can work remote. That's what the beauty of, what happened with COVID was we all learned to work remote and everybody can basically work remote. We do have an office here. If they want to come in, they want to talk to the processing, they want to talk to their loan officer assistant, and they are local, but I'm hiring throughout California. So if they're in the Bay Area, if they're in San Diego, they can work remote. All they need is a phone.
Yeah, and you're providing some of the resources and training for them that is really important, and the marketing.
And the market,
that is what in today's market we need. They need the support. That is the selling point with Main Street Mortgages. You provide them with the loan processors as well, so the sales people, the mortgage loan officers, can do the selling and closing.
Well, and that's I think what helps too with some of the candidates is we do offer the marketing, like the social media piece, all the Instagram, the podcasts. The reels, whatever they need to help make them successful. Plus, we do a lot of seminars, with our loan officers. If they want to do a seminar out in San Diego, John and I will go out and support that. We'll get local realtors. We'll do anything it takes to help support them in their success because that's our success as well. And we like to see people succeed, obviously.
Yeah.
And what's really nice lately is the market has picked up. We are busy in this office again. And it's really nice to see. I knew it would happen at some point, but it's, it was a tough year. And, my team stuck out and John has been supportive and we all hung in there. And, we're seeing that, like I said, the pedal's starting to move again. And the mouse is going around again. And that is optimistic because, once we get busy again, it's just saying that, coming towards the holiday times, which sometimes slows down, it seems like we're getting a little busier. So we'll see what happens next year, but it all All I know is that we do want to hire people.
Yes, and I'm happy to
I
be there with
exactly who to call.
100%.
But, I think though with your skill set and your background and your new company and it's, it's in the baby stages, it's only a month old,
Right.
but you had placed your first person.
Yes, I have.
And tell me about that. Tell me a little bit about that.
I have a client that is in financial planning,
Okay.
and they are up in Oregon.
Oh, okay.
And that's a different market that is not as familiar, to myself. I had to do a lot of research, but they were in need of an office manager, and they're growing. They have 3 small offices and wanting to expand and grow their business. They needed someone like me, and I was referred by a former client of mine.
Wow.
That thinking you should speak to Julie because she's worked in this area before. We've worked with her, and I think she could really give you some great advice and help you with your staffing. And it just started with an intro call, and from then on we moved forward. So that's very exciting.
That is awesome. I mean, in your first month,
Yes,
that is really exciting.
thank you.
I'm sure there'll be many more to come. And I think one thing that really sticks out in my mind the night that we were having the rice and just sharing our rice and chicken, whatever, today, you told me about a candidate though, and this I do remember. She was out of work for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
She was, I think, divorced,
Mm-hmm.
hadn't worked, needed a job,
Mm-hmm.
and you were able to place her at a company.
Yes.
She didn't want to go.
Mm-hmm.
She complained about it. Then she changed offices, ended up marrying the boss. And
You remember that story?
and did very well with her life. So I'm like, you not only place people, you change lives. You get people married, you do all kinds of things. I was like, wow, I'm using this person.
Well, it's all about
It's a
the
matchmaker.
I am a professional matchmaker, and in this case, it led into the personal life. But she was definitely a life-changing moment.
Yes.
And
But I remember.
and that's what happened to me, over 10 years ago when I got into this industry. Someone believed in me, and they saw that my background and my personality and my education really could lend itself to this type of industry. And being creative is important, and thinking out of the box and helping my clients think out of the box a little bit too. Like, consider someone that might have this background,
Right.
they can bring this to the table. And in her case, she had a former career as an executive assistant in the dental field and things of that nature. And so her background and education really lended itself to this particular company. And so, yeah, I walked her through the whole process and got her an opportunity to interview with my client and stay with them. And yes, with that said, she met her future.
So I remember that as well. So I mean, you're a matchmaker, you're a little bit of all. Well, I think we have covered some fantastic foundations here, and I think with all said, I mean, I'm really excited for you, and I know you're going to do just great, and I'm really hoping we get some great placements here soon. And I wish you all the best, Julie. And thank you so much today for coming on the podcast. And have a fantastic week.
You too. And thank you so much for the opportunity.
You're welcome.
I look forward to the future.
Me too. Bye.